Well, good morning. We are walking down the beautiful beach here in Hua Hin, and I am having a fantastic time here vacationing in this area. Wow, there's a lot of expats here. It's a very popular place, and not just people that are coming through like me. I'm a rarity. This is a place where expats are buying and living. They're buying condos here and living, and I say more power to them. I want to talk a little bit about how we set up our retirement today. That is something that I get asked by you. I get asked, am I following the 4% rule? Let's talk about what that is. We're going to talk about what the 4% rule is for people who practice what's called FIRE. Okay, they invest and they retire early. Do I follow that, or do I follow a different system? That's what we're going to discuss today. There's nothing wrong with different retirement systems as long as it's working for you. And I think you'll find my answer to be a little bit interesting compared to what most people are doing with their retirements. So we're going to cover the 4% FIRE rule, if I'm using it, if I'm not using it, what my thoughts are on it, and what I am doing. We're also going to get ourselves a great bite to eat while I'm here. Oh man, I am looking forward to a good meal today. I've had just a beautiful long walk. Look at the beaches. I can just walk out here. It's quiet. It's pleasant. The water is beautiful. It's some of the best water that I've seen anywhere in Thailand. Very nice place to go and travel, and I recommend that you do so. Add Hua Hin to your list of places to go see. Okay, we've got a lot to cover today. We're going to be talking about one of your top subjects that you ask me about, how I set up my retirement. Am I following the 4% rule or not? Let's talk about that. Let's go. People talk about the 4% rule. Let's talk about what that is first. The idea of the 4% rule in retirement is that the market is going to keep rising at a rate of average of 8% per year. So if you take 4% of your retirement out of the stock market and live off of that, you should be fine. Well, yeah, I mean, the numbers sound great, but the reality is not the same. You have serious times where the market crashes. The market can lose an entire decade. And when you do that, that 4% that you take out, that's coming off your principal. That means you have less invested to grow in the future. You come out of that 4% time where the market has been down and you say to yourself, wow, I have a lot less principal now and I'm not working, I'm retired. It's not like I can heal that. I can't heal those losses. And that's the reason why I don't use that 4% rule. I use a rule of dividends. How does that work? I'll explain it to you right now. Over the course of decades, I took a portion of my paycheck and I invested in the stock market. Some in growth stocks, which just like dun, da, 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 they just take off, right? And others in dividend stocks. When I got to a point that I had enough dividend stocks to give me about $2,000 a month in dividends, that's when I retired. And I did it at age 52. Now, don't get me wrong. $2,000 a month, come on. Back in the US, that's below the poverty rate. I'm not going to be able to retire anywhere on that. But traveling the way that I do around the world, it's not a problem at all. I live quite comfortable. I eat good meals. I stay in nice hotels, not fancy, but nice hotels. And I get a chance to see the world. And I do that on $2,000 a month that come from my dividends. The key is I never touch the principal. That's the key. I saw this place, JN Coffee, yesterday, but there was a group of expats sitting and relaxing there, and it's not very big, so I said, I'm coming back tomorrow. JN Coffee is a cool little coffee shop. This is Hua Hin all the way. That's exactly the way this place feels. It's just like a kiosk-style pop-up with a garden around it. Really nice. I ordered a coconut shake that they mixed up for me. Really good spot. That's fresh. little bit of milk, yeah, sure. Yep, you know. That looks incredible. $2 for this coconut shake. Very nice. They had other fruits to choose from as well. This is just what I need, just to kind of cool off. It's a hot and humid day. They put some nice young coconut from the coconut scraped fresh on top to munch on later. Just what I needed. Oh gosh, that feels good. By the way, if any of you need any information on travel health insurance, travel insurance, the first link in the description will answer those questions for you. It is the #1 question that I get. So how do you set that up in your Dividend account? Well, I will tell you, one of the things that I look for when it comes to dividends is I want to know that I'm going to be getting around 6%. Now, there are some of my stocks that don't make 6%. Some of them make 3% dividends. But to make up for that, I have some that are high flyers. I'll list down here some of my stocks that are not 6%, but they're great stocks and I really enjoy them. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you what I do with my money. That's what I can tell you. And these are stocks that don't make 6%, but they're great. And I can show you these. These are stocks that are over 6% and they balance it out. These are a little bit more risky, but they pay. And if they pay more than 6%, they make up for the ones that pay under. And finally, I'm going to give you a nice list of stocks that are at around 6%, okay? And that gives you an idea of some of my 6% stocks right there. It's well diversified into different fields. Fields like industrial metals, fields like pharmaceuticals, chemicals, energy, pipelines, transportation, utilities. These are the kinds of foundational stocks that build society. That's what I like to invest in. I don't invest in retail, and I don't touch the principal, which is what the 4% rule is about. Nope. I am making about 6% on my stocks, and I make that without touching the principal. That's the retire and go 6% rule. And I'll take my rule because my rule has maintained and grown my principal for the last 2 years. That's right. I have more in my retirement account than I did when I started retirement. That's possible because I'm living in a low-cost environment. I lowered my cost of living by traveling overseas this way. That's key. So think of those two things. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but think of these two ideas. One, I never touch the principal. I live off the dividends. And two, I lowered my cost of living. That's vital. Lower your cost of living so that you can live off of your dividends and survive with never touching what you actually invested, your principal. There are so many great restaurants here in Hua Hin. There's so many to try. I came across this place, which was called Lucky 13 Sandwich. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I heard about this. I've heard about this place from some other YouTubers who came here, and I thought, okay, I have to try this out. I'm really glad that I did. The place is very nice, professional, air conditioned. They have Wi-Fi. You have onion rings today? Okay, what do you suggest then? Which one? Chicken and bacon? That sounds good to me. Okay, chicken and bacon and an order of onion rings. They can handle just about any size group. I come in nice and early like this, pretty much before the crowd starts showing up. I did like they had an open kitchen in the back area. I was able to go watch them cook everything up. Man, the food looked so good as well. Chicken and bacon sandwich, so many fresh vegetables, a side order of fresh and hot onion rings. You can't go wrong. What a great meal. This was a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be, which means this is pretty much going to be my meal for the day. And it just can't go wrong. This is the way I like to live. This is the way I like to travel. This is the way I like to find low-cost meals in my retirement. It's not about living with less. Minimalism is not about living with less. It's about quality over quantity. When I do venture out in the evenings, I see these restaurants are busy. So getting out early like this has worked out very well for me. If you are an early riser like me, you can expect to find restaurants open and ready to order. Thank you for spending some time with me today. Today we talked about one of the top questions that I get, which is how did I set up my retirement? Am I following the 4% FIRE rule, where I take 4% out of my retirement account every year and shave that off and live off it? Because the market's gonna keep going, baby. So we can always take 4%, right? Well, hopefully I cleared that up for you today, how I look at retirement and how I look at the way I set up retirement. I think it's a safer system. It's worked for me, and I've been traveling nonstop now for 2 years. I will take my system, and it's been working well. And I hope that it's helped a lot of you as well. If you want to learn more about this lifestyle, traveling as a minimalist, traveling low cost around the world with one backpack, well, like and subscribe the video and come along, because that's exactly what we talk about here. If you want to know about the equipment that I travel with, the great sandals that I've been traveling with now for years, and they've gotten me through, protected my feet through all different elements, there's a link in the description for them. And the backpack that has lasted me now for 7 years, oh man, this backpack has gotten me through countries all over the world. There's a link in the description for that as well. Okay, we'll talk again soon. Aloha. I didn't mean nobody no harm, but then they saw me. Oh, look at these nice doggies right here. You guys watching the shop here? Yeah? You guys watching the shop? Yeah. Making sure that everything's safe here at the shop? Yes, you are. You're making sure everything is safe here at the shop, aren't you? Yes, you are. Oh, I wish I had a nice tasty bone for you. Yes, I wish I had a nice tasty bone for you. How are you there? Oh, you look so hot. Yeah, does that feel good? Yeah, that feels good. Oh, the three of you, the dangerous trio.